Okay, so here's a sample of how to tackle this assignment. There's 5 sheets that you need to work through. And look for a blue box that will kind of tell you what we're doing. This first one is the birthdays that we did earlier this month. And look for your birthday over here. It should be there. If there's more than one person, we list how many times there's a student with that birth date. And it goes all the way down to 330 students, I believe. And there was no birthdays on New Year's Eve. So, yeah, 330. So, anyway, we got to sort the above table by number of birthdays, Z to A. And so, right now, it's sorted alphabetically by month. So, you highlight D1 down to E13 and let up. And it's kind of buried. It's data, sort range, advanced range sorting options. You'll always select it has a header row, and in this case we want to sort by number of birthdays, Z to A. And you'll see that April has the most, and March and June and December have the least. And we're to make a small column chart of this data. Looks like I need to move some stuff around here. I'll have to do that on the original one. These are just a couple of screenshots here. I'm just going to try to move out of the way if it'll let me. There we go. I'll need to fix that on the original. So anyway, make a small column chart of this data that is placed in this single sheet. Color the months that have the most and least. Alter the number of birthdays axis label to start the minimum at 20. So here's how this works. Your data is highlighted, so just go to Insert Chart. And we want a column chart, so change it to that. And we want it to begin at 20, so it measures from 20 to 40 or 20 to 35. So just double click on these numbers right here, and under minimum put 20 and hit enter. And you should get something like this. This is the number of birthdays by month. And this is FA Middle School. All right. And we can close that. And we now have this guy. You could turn it to 3D and maybe change the color. So April has the most birthdays in the school. And so we can edit that. So let's go to edit. I want to make this 3D. That's kind of cool. It's under customized chart style, 3D. And then to change colors of individual bars, just come in here and click on one bar here. Maybe you have to double click. And you can go to autofill and you can change those kinds of colors. So April, I'm just going to specify that it's the highest number of birthdays, 35. And then here, these three are the lowest. And so I'll give them a different color as well. Something like that. And that would work. So make sure that you did adjust this so that it says starts at 20 and goes to 35. That's the first slide. The second slide is measuring minimum wage by state. So if you worked at Taco Bell, this is probably what you would make an hour if you just started. The national minimum wage is $7.25. So you're going to see a lot of states that do that. And then other states make up their own minimum wage. So let's see here. We need to place a small geo map of the United States for this data and place it on this single sheet. Also sort the data and answer these questions right here. Who has the highest? What state has the highest? What state's the lowest minimum wage? And there's many of those. And then where does Colorado rank in terms of how high it is? Okay, and so we can sort the data first. Right now it's sorted by state, or in this case District of Columbia as well. We can highlight both A and B and go to data sort range. You want to sort by minimum wage, Z to A. Now, let's make that chart. And it's a geomap, so we come down here. And it just does Georgia there. That's the country, not the state. So you have to go to Customize, Geo, Change World to United States. Okay. And so minimum, I'll make dark blue. And here I'll make a purple. And I'll make this nice and bright. So here's a geo map of that data. And let's see here. We want to answer these questions. Well, the state with the highest wage is California. Washington, D.C. is not a state. Lowest wage? Well, it's all of these 725s, all of these. I'll just pick on Wyoming. Then lastly, where does Colorado rank? Colorado is 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's the second sheet. The third sheet deals with poverty. How many people, percentage of people, live in poverty? They're considered poor. And again, this is in alphabetical order by state. We need a geomap. So let's go ahead and get started here. A and B. And let's get a geomap going. Poverty. Let's say dark is bad and lighter is better. So something like that, and it shows that poverty is at worst in the South. It's a Southern problem mostly. And let's answer the questions. So let's sort this. While the data is still highlighted, data sort range. Advanced range sorting options. Yes, I'm going to hit a row. Poverty rate. Lowest to highest. Okay. Well, with the lowest percentage is New Hampshire. So that goes here. I can spell New Hampshire right. And the state with the highest percentage, that's Mississippi. I do believe, if I double check. Yes, almost 1 in 5 people are living in poverty. So 20% of that state lives in poverty. It's very sad. Colorado, it ranks right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 6th lowest poverty rate in the nation, which is a good thing. You don't want to be 50th. That's the third slide. Fourth slide. This is a little bit of work here. I'm going to have you do some keyboarding or at least copy paste some data back and forth. We're going to list the top 10 peaks in the lower 48 states only, so not Alaska. So there's a website. It lists the highest summits in the United States, and we got to go there. And you're going to want to split the screen this time between this resource and the sheet that you're doing. So you want to do one of these numbers. So here's the list, and again, we're not interested in Alaska. I'm interested in what's known as the lower 48. And so the first one for that would be the 11th tallest mountain in the United States, and that's Mount Whitney in California, and the elevation of that is 14,500 feet. So what you've got to do is type in Mount Whitney. Copy paste also works. Oops, I did it in the wrong spot. Try that again. Try Mount Whitney. It's in California. And the number is 1, 4, 505. I tend to ignore the commas. I just don't mess with them. And the elevations in feet, make sure you don't put the word feet here. You only want a number. Looking again now, you're going to now Mount Elbert. It's the next non-Alaskan mountain, and that's definitely in the lower 48. So Mount Elbert is the tallest mountain in Colorado with a 14,440. Okay, so I need to do this 8 more times for the mountains that are not in Alaska. So the next one's Mount Massive. The top 10 mountains in the lower 48. And we need to make a column chart of this data. Color the mountains or the columns for each mountain that's in Colorado. And if you just want to highlight just columns A and C, what you do is you highlight this, then hold down the Command key on a Macintosh or a Control key on a Chromebook, and highlight column C, a C1 through C11, and that'll allow you to make a column chart. When you first do this, it's going to look weird because it's hard to tell any difference. That's because this range is so wide. Again, what you want to do is double click on these numbers, and for the minimum value, put 14,000 feet or 14,000, and you'll get something like this instead. Okay. And this is the 10 tallest mountains. In the lower 48. Oh, let's do some 3D perhaps. I'm going to color the ones that are from Colorado. And there's one simple question here, and that is what percentage of these 10 mountains are in Colorado? And the answer is 70%. Lastly, the 10 tallest buildings in the world. And what I want to show you here is you can copy paste your way through this, and it might go a little faster. So let's try this one. We're going to make a column chart sorted from highest to lowest of the top 10 tallest buildings in the world. Have the vertical scale begin at 1,500 feet. So, and there's a resource for you to go to. The data that we want is right here. It begins with Burj Khalifa and goes down to China Zun. And here's a trick. What you can do is you can grab the headers and just pull down. So you're highlighting the row headers, column headers, excuse me, and then going to row 10 like that. And I'm copying that. Okay. When I come over here to here, I'm going to come to like maybe, oh gosh, about here, and paste in that data. And here it is. And what I'm going to do is just move things around till it gets what I want. Well, I don't want rank. I don't need that. So I'm just going to highlight that, hit backspace. It gets rid of all that data. What I want, though, is these names of the buildings right here, these 10. And so I highlight them, and I want to move them up here. And what you can do is you take your mouse, and if you go to the outside anywhere on the border of this that's highlighted data, you can then move it to where you want it to be, like that. Here I need to make this a little bit wider. And now I need country next, right here. That's right here. So I'll grab these 10. Now you're going to see there's an issue here. The last 3 buildings are in China and they merged those cells. We can fix that. So anyway, I move over here again and grab these guys. Whoops, I think I messed up. Let me undo that. Get these guys here. Move that to country and it goes right here. There's where China's kind of messed up. It's these 3 buildings are all in China and they just kind of merged the cells to do that. You can unmerge them, and the way you do that is you're on the cell, come right over here, and you can say unmerge. Now they're back to 3 cells again, and what you could do is just copy that China, click here and hit paste, and click here and hit paste. Saves you some typing. Make this a little bit wider so everything fits. Next is the city in each one of these buildings, and here are those 10 right here. Again, I'm going to leverage just dragging these. Height is in feet. It's this guy right here. These 10. Now, here's another issue. 2 of these buildings, the 8th and 9th one, are the same height, and guess what? They merged the cells on that. Well, what you can do is bring that over and unmerge it just like we did before. So now I'm going to come here, put that there, and there's the merged cell. You want to unmerge that, and then 1739 goes in there as well. If you want the year it's completed, that would be right here, 2010 to there. Again, you should be able to drag those if you want them. All right, so now I'm actually interested in this part of the data, and then this part of the data here. Hold down the control or on a Chromebook or the command key on a Macintosh to highlight non-adjacent columns like that. And we now need a column chart. So let's make a chart. And we want to start at, I believe, 1,500 feet. So I'm going to double click here, change that to 1500. And that looks pretty good. Maybe do a 3D on it. And only one of them is from the United States, and that's One World Trade Center. So I might just give it its own color. Red for US. And that's what we're looking for on that one, the top 10 tallest buildings in the world. You can see it's a lot taller by a lot. And all this other stuff that we don't need anymore, we could certainly highlight it and then just hit backspace. And all that's gone. And that would be this assignment. So some simple charting today. If you get done early, work on some other schoolwork or do some keyboarding games. Nitro type would work. No gaming, and be nice to the sub. Thank you.